Hello everyone. I have done this video to explain a few topics from module 3 of ATC 18CS54. Kindly make use of these problems for your examination. Okay, let's go ahead. Reduction of context-free grammar, which is nothing but simplification. In context-free grammar, all production rules and symbols are not needed for derivation of strings. Elimination of these productions and symbols is called simplification of context-free grammar. So reduction of context-free grammar includes two phases. So the phase 1 is nothing but derivation of an equivalent grammar G dash from the context-free grammar G, such that each variable derives some terminals from the string. Like these two phases again include steps in return. Step 1 says include all symbols which are wi that derives some terminal and initialize that to I is equal to 1. Then your second step is to include the symbol wi plus 1. So after that, your third step, what you will do is you will increment I and keep on repeating this second step where symbol wi is I plus 1. Wi is equal to wi plus 1 is equal to wi. Then your step 4 is you'll have to include all production rules that you have in wi in the same. Then your phase 2 is nothing but derivation of an equivalent grammar G double bar from the context free grammar G bar. That is what you have arrived at G bar in phase 1 is taken ahead for your phase 2, that is from you will derive G double bar from that. Then your next step in your phase 2 is you'll have to include the start and initialize I is equal to 1. Then your next step is to include all the symbols yi plus 1 that can be derived from yi, and then you include all the production rules that are applied. Your last step here in your phase 2 is to increment I and keep on repeating the second step until yi plus 1 is equal to yi. Probably these steps will not make it clear. So let's take an example to understand the reduction of context-free grammar. Find a reduced grammar equivalent to the grammar G having production rules P, which is S tends to AC or B, A tends to A, C tends to small c. You can just note here what is the variable and what is the non-terminal. Then you have C tends to B, C, and E tends to A, B or C. You can just see at phase 1, you will first start with set of terminals. Capital T is equal to, as you already know from the grammar, the terminals are A, E and small c. Then your next step is to find out wi, which is nothing but w1 initially. So all symbols that are derived from these terminals A, E and S. So all those symbols are included in w1. So this small a, E and C derives A, C and E. Okay, then W2 is nothing but you will include all those variables that you derive from W1 first, and then you will start with the W2 where all the symbols from the derivations are first included here, and then you will check which is that symbol which is derived from W1. Then you can see A, C, E are as it is taken, and then S also is derived from AC. That's why that S is included at W2. Then you now check all those symbols that you derive from W2 and that will be appearing in W3. First of all, you will write down what is there in W2 first, that is S, A, C, E is already there, and you will check if you can derive any symbol other than S, A, C, E. If you can't derive, then you will stop there according to our steps. Now you can just see this grammar G bar represents the variables, terminals, productions and the symbols. What are the variables that we have? S, A, C, E, and then the terminals A, C and E, and then productions. I have written all the productions here, and then S is the start symbol. So the productions here are those which are derived from the variables and the terminals from G bar. So the productions are S tends to AC, A tends to small a, capital C tends to C, and E tends to A A bar E. Okay, that completes our first phase. Then we go to second phase, where in your second phase you will derive G double bar from G bar, and the step 1 here in phase 2 is you will start from the start symbol Y1, that is capital S is your start symbol. Then you have Y2, where you will find out all those symbols which are derived from S, that is the start symbol, along with what you retain from there. So that is S you retain from there, and then you will check what are those symbols that are derived from S, that is A and C. So all those symbols you derive from the start symbol are included in Y2, and then Y3 you will see, you will first include all those symbols which are there in Y2 already, that is S, A, C, and you will check all those symbols that are derived from Y2, that is from SAC, whatever I derive. So I get this small a and small c also, and then I'll go ahead for the next step, that is Y4. There you can see SAC and AC are retained here, and you will check if there is any other symbol that you can derive. So you will stop, that is Y4 is where you cannot derive any more symbols. There you will arrive at G double bar, which includes the set of variables, that is A, C and S, and set of terminals, that is AC, and set of productions are written here, and then the start symbol. What are the productions that I can arrive at from the variables and the terminals that I have from G double bar? So I can just see, I will use the previous productions. So S tends to AC can be there because I have all the variables here. And then A tends to A can also be there because the variables and the terminals are here. And then C tends to small c, but I cannot use this E because it is not there in our G bar as our variable. So there you will stop, and you can just see from the productions that were given to us, these are the reduced form of the grammar that we have arrived at. So these are the phases that you have to follow to solve any of the problem given to you for reduction of context free grammar.